Sure guys, welcome to another gardening video on my channel. My name is Beetroot, Sponizer. Today guys, I have a very exciting video. We're gonna be starting our seeds. All the seeds. We're gonna be starting our spring vegetable crops. So I'm gonna be starting my seeds today, and I'm also going to be showing you 7 vegetable crops that you can grow in spring right now. Enough time of wasting. Let's just get straight into it. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's do the things. Okay, so first I'm gonna start with all the crops that I think that you should be already starting in the ground. You shouldn't put them in containers or anything like that. You should just start them immediately in the ground. First one, carrots. Carrots. And I say that you should only do it in the ground because carrots are ground crops. So if you put them in a container and then you transplant them, you are disrupting basically their growing process, and the success rate will be a lot lower. So I would always recommend that you start carrots in the ground already. Okay, so with carrots, I would always recommend that you don't plant them too deep in the soil. So what I do usually is that I make these little grooves in the soil, because the carrot seeds are pretty small, so I wouldn't suggest that you do it one by one, but I would say in these grooves, just create like a little groove, but not too deep that the carrots won't grow. Just create a little groove in there with a stick, with your finger, and plant all of the carrots in these grooves. So as you can see, look, you see how small the carrot seeds are. I would just say that in the grooves you just plant one by one, not too deep. Just make sure that they're not too deep, because I've had issues with carrots, and also don't make them too close as well, but I've had some issues with germination of carrots, and it's not really nice, so just lightly on top, and then just cover lightly. Oh, and what I would say is also water the ground before. Just water the ground before you plant, so that I guess you don't have to water as much afterwards, and disrupting the seeds as well. Okay, and then you just keep doing that for all of the grooves. You just put them, just sprinkle, just sprinkle a few, just sprinkleize, just make sure that you don't plant them too close to each other, just like that. But yeah, just make sure you can always separate them at a later stage. And when you're planting all of these, you see how I've spaced, let's say this groove, then it comes to the next groove, then it's the next groove. I would say this is a correct or well enough spaced for the carrots, but don't worry too much about the spacing, because the carrots will always shift themselves around and make room for each other. So yeah, don't worry too much about that. And then once you're done, I would say just do a light sprinkle of water onto the crops, just a little spritz. And then next we have beetroot. This is the crimson globe variety. Now with beetroot is one of the easiest crops that I've grown. They are such a pleasure to grow. Just literally, even if you just put it on the ground, it will grow. But what I usually do is the same method that I use for the carrots. I do a little groove, like groves, and then I put them in. It doesn't really matter how deep you put the beetroot, but obviously don't put it too deep. Too deep is like, if you have to, don't put it too deep. It says even at the back, but with beetroot, it's very easy to grow, and it's a very simple crop. So just like this, we have the groves, and then just like the carrots, we put the beetroot seeds in there. Okay, yeah, so with beetroot, another thing that's nice is that it doesn't really matter about the spacing that you put them in, because usually root crops will make space for each other. You can even put 3 beetroot seeds in one exact space, in the same space, because then they will all just sprout out and make space for each other. So that's always a nice quality to have with beetroot seeds and carrot seeds actually. So don't worry too much about the spacing. Just do what you gotta do. Good, and that's beetroots. And then number 3 of the ones that I think you should be growing in the soil immediately is peas. Peas, another lovely one to do, another delicious and easy one. I would recommend that you do it with your kids even, because it's a nice one where you can just come into the garden and pick things and just pick and pick and pick, So yeah, next one, peas, very easy, same as beetroot. Do a little groove and then plant in there. What I would suggest is that you either do it against the wall or have a netting behind or in front of it, so that the peas have some support when they're growing upwards. So yeah, I'm going to show you how to plant those. So the peas are a lot bigger as compared to the beetroot and carrot seeds. As you can see, they're a lot larger. So these ones, I would space them fairly close to each other, because then they grow upwards. So I would just grow them fairly close. I think that should be good enough. Another thing that's really nice about peas is that they will be one of the first crops to sprout. It usually takes them like a week to pop up. And then next we have capsicum, peppers, green pepper, and also a red pepper as well. This is the first time that I'm trying the red pepper. It's called baby pepper, and then the other one, green pepper California. So yeah, these are the ones, and so I'm gonna try and start them in these pots. So I would actually recommend, this is the first time that I've used these type of pots. I think it would be really nice because you can get it assorted with the different types of vegetables that you're growing, and it's just easier access as compared to using a pot. Okay, so when planting these, we're gonna start with we're gonna start with capsicum. So when you are planting these, I would say just do a little groove, just a little hole, just like that. You can even do it with a pen, or a pencil. I'm gonna do it with one of these. Just do a little groove and then put one seed in each capsule. Basically, we don't want to put too many. Because we don't want them to be struggling for germination or competing for germination with each other. And not too deep as well, not too deep. I even think I put the too deep, but let's put one there, cover it up. I put too many in there. Put one in there. And then you just cover it up and make sure that this is also wet. You can obviously water afterwards, but I would recommend do it before. And that's it for the green pepper. And then next we have pumpkin. This one I would make sure that you have enough space, because it's just going to keep on traveling and traveling and traveling. So just make sure that you have enough space to accommodate this amount. Or another option is that you could trellis it up and then maybe have like a netting that catches all of the pumpkin. So there's two methods that you could use. I'm probably just gonna put it on the ground and let it slither all the way. Now, as you can see, pumpkin seeds are a lot bigger. So make sure that you have also the enough space, or you've dug a big enough hole for them to be inserted in here. And then just cover it up. And that's, simple things, mate. Gardening, it's just a beautiful, easy thing. Don't worry about putting them the right side up or which way should I be. Seeds always find a way to maneuver themselves. So don't worry about that. And that's it. Pumpkin. Next, number 6. I think number 6 we have spinach, a classic. This one you can grow year round. So it's the perfect time now when it's not too hot, but it's growing weather. So I think it will love this type of weather. There's still a bit of wind. So spinach, it should always be in your garden. Always. Last but not least, we have tomato, another favorite of mine. Another easy crop that you should be growing in spring. So yeah, I think if one thing that I would say is that just look at the temperature of the season that you're in, because right now I feel like it's really hot, and tomatoes really like the heat, and it hasn't rained a lot as well. So it's good for the planting of tomatoes. And yeah, so I think right now we'll see how well they do right now. But yeah, another one, tomatoes. And then honorable mentions, just so that you can never grow enough. We have cucumber and asparagus as well. So these ones you can also grow in spring and summer. So cucumber, again, it's similar to peas, where you should grow it against the trellis or against the wall so that it has something to grow up against. And then asparagus, I've never actually grown asparagus, so I can't tell you from my own experience what it is, but I know that the asparagus itself reaches nutrients that other vegetables are not able to reach. So it's always a good thing to have this, because your life will be the healthiest. Yeah guys, so that will be the end of the video. I hope it was useful and I hope you learned something today. Let me know how your guys' growing is going, and yeah, I'll see you guys in another video. Love, peace, grow every day.